Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I will analyze the case of Lisa Schiff. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the crime, then offer my analysis. Lisa Schiff was born on December 2, 1969, in Miami, Florida. Her father was a professor of medicine at the University of Miami. She suggested that she grew up middle class, but her family had a great deal of prestige. Lisa earned a bachelor's degree in art history from the University of Michigan, then a master's degree in art history from the University of Miami. Later, she was accepted into a doctoral program in art history at City University of New York, but Lisa never completed her dissertation. Therefore, she failed to earn a PhD. There is no reason for her to feel sad specifically about the dissertation. Nobody would have read it anyway. In 1991, Lisa started her career in the art business by working for a gallery in Paris. Later, she spent several years working for an auction house in New York City. In 2002, Lisa started a company called Schiff Fine Art Advisory and eventually opened offices in New York, Los Angeles, and London. Essentially, Lisa functioned as a broker in the art world. She dealt with collectors, art galleries, and auction houses to facilitate the sale of artwork. Lisa would collect a commission when one of her clients purchased a piece of art, and she would sell clients' artwork on consignment. Lisa was a wheeler-dealer for wealthy and famous people interested in fine art. For instance, the actor Leonardo DiCaprio was her client for 4 years. In 2018, Lisa signed a 10-year lease on office space in the Tribeca neighborhood of Manhattan, which she could use to display artwork that was on consignment and for other art-related purposes. She paid tens of thousands of dollars to an artist to design the interior of the building, which was open to the public in 2019. The design involved many curious features. For example, a wall of vegetation that cost $36,000, an unusual and somewhat disturbing lamp, a chair that looked like a chocolate-covered waffle pretzel, except it was yellow, and a highly stylized bathroom, which missed the exits for tacky and distasteful and slammed right into the barrier of revolting. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. In 2018, the year before Lisa opened her creatively designed exhibition space, she began stealing money from people in the art business, including her clients. She perpetrated a fraud scheme using two methods. When she sold artwork on behalf of a client, she failed to disclose it and kept the money, and she failed to purchase artwork on behalf of clients, despite indicating that she would. Lisa used the illegally obtained money for her personal and business expenses. In January 2020, she checked herself into a substance use rehabilitation clinic in San Francisco. Lisa claimed that she was addicted to alcohol and to reckless behavior. She hoped that spending time in the clinic would help her to stop committing fraud and to assist her with developing a plan to pay her clients back. When she was discharged, Lisa returned to her old ways and continued perpetrating fraud. By May 2023, Lisa was in a very bad financial position. She had been using stall tactics for a while to keep people she owed money to pacified, but it was no longer working. On May 8, Lisa had a meeting in Manhattan with a client named Adam Sheffer. She explained to him how the $1.8 million, which she owed to him for the sale of a painting, was gone. After making this stunning announcement, Lisa turned away from him and fled down the street. According to a lawsuit that was filed later, Lisa sent a text message to Adam saying, quote, "I am sorry and have every intention to make things right. I know you will never speak to me again, but I will try to make it right regardless," unquote. Right after this, Lisa sent a text message to a client named Candice Barash. Lisa wrote, "Know that I love you." She also indicated that she could not talk at that time. Later, according to Candice, she and Lisa talked on the phone, and Lisa made a number of admissions. For example, money that Candice had wired Lisa was gone. Lisa was in a massive financial hole and could not escape, and Lisa had considered filing for bankruptcy, but was fearful that doing so could result in a criminal investigation. A few days later, Lisa turned over information documenting her own criminal behavior to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. She had started the process of turning herself in before confessing to her clients. Lisa closed the Schiff Fine Art Advisory during the same month of May. In January 2024, the company filed for bankruptcy. On October 17, 2024, Lisa Schiff pleaded guilty to one count of wire fraud. She had defrauded at least 12 clients, one artist, the estate of another artist, and one gallery. 55 artworks were involved in her scheme. The total amount stolen was about $6.4 million. At the time I'm making this video, Lisa is scheduled to be sentenced on March 19, 2025. She is facing up to 20 years in prison. As she waits to begin her magical prison journey, Lisa lives in a 2-bedroom apartment in Manhattan, which is paid for by her parents. She spends her time working with Legos and attending Alcoholics Anonymous meetings and Debtors Anonymous meetings. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. Despite having degrees in art history, Lisa said she had no idea what she was doing when she first became an art advisor. Over time, she built relationships with wealthy clients and was considered an expert in the area of fine art. Lisa gave talks in museums, was quoted by the media, and was generally well regarded. After her conviction, Lisa appeared to maintain a belief that she made a meaningful contribution to the art world. She told the media that she believed she was a good art advisor in some ways. Lisa worked very hard so her clients could build their art collections, and claimed that she sometimes gave up money in order to point her clients toward art that she believed in. Proclaiming her competency as an art advisor is such a strange move considering the nature of her crime. Almost like she was saying, I was a pretty good art advisor, except for that stealing over $6 million part. Does Lisa really believe that people are going to remember the quality of her service in light of her massive fraud? Item number 2. At first glance, it might appear as though Lisa's clients had no knowledge of the art world. They were clueless and easy targets for somebody like Lisa. Nothing could be further from the truth. Lisa's victim, Adam Scheffer, once worked at well-known galleries. He even worked as an expert witness in a fraud case dealing with art. Lisa's victim, Candace Barash, was considered a high-level art collector. The kind of fraud that Lisa conducted wasn't based on her victim's lack of knowledge about art, but rather the high level of trust they had in her. They may have viewed her as one of them. Which brings me to item number 3. Lisa worked diligently to convince people that she was wealthy. Her life was filled with extravagant and ridiculous expenditures. For example, she flew in a private helicopter, rented a loft in Tribeca for $25,000 a month, and went on a $32,000 shopping spree in Paris. This involved purchasing items like leggings for $573 and a pair of jeans for $953. Lisa indicated that the purpose of her out-of-control spending was to keep up with her wealthy clients. For instance, when she would travel with her clients to various locations to look at artwork, Lisa realized that she did not need to stay in expensive hotels like they did. She did this anyway because she felt as though she had more confidence waking up in the same places as her clients. Item number 4. Despite stealing over $6 million, Lisa was unable to steal happiness. She claimed that she was miserable even at the peak of her scam. Lisa said things like, I was a fake, a fraud every day, I hated when people would say nice things about me, and I felt like a walking corpse. As far as her self-perception, Lisa did not think of herself as a criminal. She said, quote, it just got so big and I got so scared. I have a kid and I was just like, I can't be a criminal. I didn't allow myself to even think that I was doing criminal behavior, unquote. Item number 5, Lisa made various statements throughout her career which were curious in light of her criminal behavior. For example, in 2012, 6 years before she started the fraud, Lisa said, quote, the art world is the easiest place to do shifty business on every level, shape, or form, unquote. She then talked about how there were many unscrupulous people in the business who could scheme, lie, and double dip. In 2020, after Lisa had been a fraudster for 2 years, she said that she wanted to make money, but also wanted the art world to rethink its relationship to profit. Lisa claimed that she could lead the charge to fix systemic problems and said, quote, I have a solution, I'm just not ready to talk about it yet, unquote. As it turns out, Lisa's solution was to put other people's money in her pocket. Item number 6, as I mentioned, Lisa is going to be sentenced in March 2025. What does justice look like in this case? What would be a fair sentence? Consistent with trying to get a lighter sentence, Lisa has expressed remorse. She said, quote, "I feel so guilty to my victims, so guilty," unquote. She acknowledged the manipulation component of her crime when she said, quote, "I am the worst kind of perpetrator because I seem so good. I'm a good person. I'm a good friend. I am loving and generous. I work hard, and I stole your money," unquote. Lisa approached the authorities and admitted wrongdoing, which could weigh strongly in her favor as far as sentencing. The problem for Lisa is that her scheme lasted for 5 years and involved over $6 million. She wasn't stealing because she needed the money. During her scheme, she traveled to Mexico, Italy, Paris, and London, and lived a life of luxury. I view this as a case which should involve some prison time. The government is asking for 3 to 4 years. Just to add some context, in 2022, an art dealer named Inigo Philbrick was sentenced to 7 years in prison after stealing $86 million. That's $80 million more dollars than Lisa took. With this in mind, I would be fine with Lisa serving 1 year in prison. Item number 7. The case of Lisa Schiff has highlighted the absurdity of the art world. People routinely spend money for artwork that has no utility, and increasingly, no aesthetic value either. It is an artificial world where the rules of supply and demand don't apply, and common sense has been abandoned. The art world is populated with many people who have more money than brains. By purchasing artwork, they are trying to purchase prestige and prove to others that they have style, taste, and sophistication. This is an environment that forcefully invites fraud and corruption. In 2024, a banana taped to a wall, which was referred to as art, sold for $6 million. Coincidentally, the sale price was close to what Lisa would have needed to get out of trouble with her clients. How bizarre is the art world that every fraudster is just one banana taped to a wall away from avoiding consequences. Item number 8. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. From a young age, Lisa was attracted to the world of fine art, perhaps because this was an area where a person could become wealthy without having any talent or skill. Lisa also had a strong attraction to wealthy and prestigious people. She wanted to be a member of that group. There was this strong desire to be financially successful, carefree, and always in possession of the finer things in life. Lisa became an advisor to meet her own needs, not just her financial needs, but her need to feel important and special. At first, it was enough for her to live through her clients vicariously. For instance, Lisa once said, quote, "I feel like advising is just my way to buy things that I wish I could buy myself," unquote. Eventually, however, Lisa wanted more. She was ready to ascend to a higher level of greatness. To put herself in a better position to steal, Lisa manipulated her clients. She crossed boundaries and became friends with them. Using this position of friendship, she perpetrated a multi-million-dollar fraud. The scheme was not sustainable. It was destined to fail. In the end, Lisa never found the satisfaction she was looking for, despite the millions of dollars. She was left feeling unhappy and detached. Now, in addition to those feelings, Lisa must contend with feelings of rejection and shame. She is no longer a valued advisor moving effortlessly among the elite, but an outcast, a criminal who can never be trusted. Her grandiose desires led her to the art of deception, but her greatest creation was her own downfall. Instead of amassing a collection of beautiful masterpieces, she is left with haunting images of self-destruction and emptiness. Those are my thoughts on the case of Lisa Schiff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Other than not being involved in the world of fine art at all, how could the victims in this case have avoided being defrauded? How could they have known that Lisa Schiff was running this massive scheme? There weren't necessarily a lot of clues in this case, but there was one thing that was pretty important. One red flag. Lisa violated the boundaries of professionalism when she dealt with her clients. So she was becoming extremely friendly. The one victim, Candace, spoke to Lisa every day, sometimes multiple times a day. This friendly type of relationship is not compatible with exchanging large amounts of money. Again, this isn't a massive clue, but it is something that the victims could have seen and potentially recognized as problematic. Whenever a professional is willing to cross boundaries, a client has to ask themselves, what else is that individual willing to do? In the case of Lisa Schiff, she was willing to steal millions of dollars. That's not always the case, but again, this is just one red flag that seemed pretty clear. There was the potential for people to notice it. It doesn't appear as though they did notice, but it was available. It was observable. So that becomes the lesson learned in this case. It's important to be suspicious of people who are willing to violate boundaries.